Welcome into the SorareAndrews podcast brought to you by SorareData. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdinho on Sorare, joined as always by Andy Black. You can find us Black on Sorare. This week to talk about God knows what, since it's an international break. I don't have any lineups this week that don't include common cards. Andy, I played the Academy. I felt really bad about it.
Let's go.
But I did it anyway. And yeah. Oh, and I had my biggest sale ever this morning or yesterday. I don't even remember when it was now.
So 2 questions then. What does the Academy team you got going look like? And what was your biggest sale?
I put a lot of time and research into this Academy team because international, there's international play. You just never know who might play and whatnot. So I spent like at least 12 to 13 seconds putting my lineups together.
Okay.
So I'm actually really excited about them. Let me see if I can pull them up. I kind of feel like a whale, to be honest, with these commons here. Pull it up here. Come on. Here we go. So we've got, so Mignolet is probably not going to start. I don't even have a starting goalie. And then I don't think any of these guys, I don't know if they normally play.
That's casual league though, right?
Oh, this is casual. Excuse me. Yeah. Here's the Academy. I don't think Alamdar starts anyway, but he might. And I know that Timber plays sometimes, and De Jong and Mbappe and Memphis. So I don't know.
I thought you had to have a limited for the Academy, no?
No, you don't.
Can you?
You can. I think you can have up to 2 of them. But I didn't have any playing anyway.
Did you get a bonus if they?
Yes. Yeah. It's like significant. And yet I'm pretty sure that every lineup I've seen that's won the Academy had no limited cards in it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, this is it. It's my whole week right there.
That's exciting. So what was your biggest sale then?
I sold my Martin Van de Voort rare card today. It's something that I had been talking to a couple people about. I was on Quinny's stream yesterday. Let me rephrase. I forced Quinny to stream with me yesterday to talk about some certain things. And I happened to mention that I was potentially getting out of U23. I actually brought this up with Sean off stream once. And I was like, I'm just not sure I want to compete in U23 anymore. The excitement that people get in playing U23, I just don't have it. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I love paying like 50% more for a guy because he happens to be 20. I get it. I get why people like it. It's just not for me. So I mentioned to Sean, I was like, I think I'm just going to sell my Van de Voort. That's like, it was my most valuable card. And he was like, you'll probably still have at least one U23 lineup. Just keep Van de Voort. And I'm like, I can get more from my Van de Voort than anything else. So I posted it. It wasn't the floor price. I didn't expect it to sell. And then all of a sudden, I got the notification and it was like, your card has been sold. And I'm
did it have more XP or something?
It's exactly what it was. Yes. And so I actually posted a bunch of my cards that I thought, some of which I'm trying to sell, some of which I would be happy to sell. I don't necessarily need them. What's funny is that I was listening to, I mentioned this on Quinny's stream yesterday. I was listening to the End Product podcast last week when Harry Trades was on. And Quinny was talking about how people take the international break to reassess their gallery and post cards. And a lot of people aren't buying cards now. So it's a lot of people who are posting cards. And when that happens, prices, people start undercutting. And I'm like, oh my God, it's exactly what I'm doing. And so I posted the Van de Voort. It might have been floor when I posted it, but 2 people undercut me. So I was like, oh, that's not going to sell. And I had a few others that were on the market. So I got the little notification on Sorare and I was like, oh, cool. And it was like, your card has been sold. I'm like, oh, great. And then I saw it was Van de Voort and I was like, holy shit, that card was not supposed to sell.
Right.
And there were 2 others on the market that were cheaper than mine. So then I had the immediate, should I just buy right back in? And then I made 0.05 or whatever. I haven't done it. Van de Voort, I believe, has since sold again for less than mine.
You should have told me this because I'm I'm thinking about buying a Vandervoort.
Well, I don't think you would have overpaid. Like, I feel like the person who bought mine, I mean,
I only want the cool one too.
so I didn't have a cool one. I had the one. So these three that are like the floor ones now, which is just like last season's regular card. That's the one I had and sold. And
Quinny's selling the cool one.
So Quinny had the cool. So two of the, I think the one after mine, is it this one? Yeah. So this one sold for 2.76, which is what it was posted for. Mine was posted for 2.805 and had more XP. And when I was like, should I buy back in? I was going to buy back in on the cooler one. Yeah. And I was like, oh, whatever. Because I remember when I bought the Vandervoort card, the only reason I did it is because I used to have Justin Bilo. And
it's Bilo, not Bijlo.
It is Bilo. I watched something once and they said Bilo, and I was like, oh, what do you know? But yes, some people say Bijlo or
They weren't telling you to buy low.
Yes.
Buy low.
So I remember I woke up one day before a deadline, and I wasn't waking up for this specific reason, but I had Bilo on the market and it sold. And during this time, Bilo was more expensive than Vandervoort. And I was actually trying to trade Bilo for Vandervoort, and like nobody would take it. So then all of a sudden my Bilo sold, and it's like minutes before lock, and I had a lineup that he was in. So I was like, all right, there's a Vandervoort that's cheaper. So I sold Bilo for 1.1. I bought Vandervoort for 1.0, but the only ones in the market at the time were these boring 2021 ones. And I really wanted that like side face one. And so I've been like, so that's what I bought. And then yesterday when it sold, I'm like, I can buy back in for less than what I just sold mine for and get the cooler card. But as you can see on this screen, I did not do it yet.
Playing with fire over there, listing cards that are in lineups.
Yeah.
Is that something you normally do?
Yeah, because my cards never sell. It's the total thing where I'm like, I'm willing to post the card because I'm like, what I'll make on the card is more than I'll win with this lineup. But then it sells, and then I do like the panic buy just before the deadline. It's really stupid. But yes, I definitely do that.
I think I'll only do it if it's like, if I'm not the floor, maybe. But
well, I wasn't the floor. You know what it is that
usually I'll delist. Like before I go to bed, I'll just delist.
That is extremely smart. But I don't do that. I do find that I must train my cards better than everyone else, because it seems like every card I sell, I have much higher XP. Yep. And what that allows me to think is that I can just match the floor price, because I'm like, why would anyone buy a card that's the same, why would you buy the same price card with lower XP? But this Vandervoort one wasn't the floor, as you can see, and yet it still sold. So I don't know, is what it is. But yeah, so that was my biggest sale ever, and I had all these plans to buy certain cards at certain prices, and the people who are selling those cards seem to be disagreeing with me on what the price should be for those cards. Which is weird, because I'm pretty sure that I should just be setting the price of the cards, but it's not happening. Thank you to everybody who has joined us live. Mike Baston reminding everybody to hit the like button. So yes, please hit it. He was also first in, which is always impressive. Sorare, this is like, is that Sorare Holland? I can't actually see the whole name in my screen here. Matt Hay, Shriram, Nicholas, and L Temp. Coops is here. Thank you guys for joining us. I wasn't sure if the topic today would get people to want to tune in or not. Like, if you saw something and it was just like, oh, this is just shenanigans, would you tune in?
Yeah. And in fact, in true shenanigans fashion, I have something totally unrelated to Sorare, but does involve soccer that I've got a question for you on.
Yeah, bring it on.
So my daughter has a soccer tournament this weekend. And
you said it wasn't about soccer.
No, I said it was about soccer, but not about Sorare.
Sorry. Oh, not about Sorare. Okay.
Right. So the soccer tournament is 6 hours away in the middle of Iowa. Great, right?
Okay.
So I was looking at the tournament schedule, and if they make it to the championship game will be on Sunday at I think 4 p.m.
Oh,
Am I rooting against my daughter all weekend? By the time that game's over, it'll be like 5:30,
yeah.
close to 6. 6 out. It's like 5 hours and 40 minutes. We'll call it 6 after I got to stop and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, of course. Man. Do you coach this team?
No.
No. I mean, you're not necessarily cheering against her all weekend, just in the semifinal. To be honest, I have had a similar situation, but it was like an hour drive. And I was like, let's just not make the final.
For an hour drive?
Yeah, for like an hour. Yeah.
Okay, that's just cold-hearted.
Yeah.
An hour drive is nothing. I mean, unless it's like a 9 p.m. game or something. But even then, I mean...
It's, to be honest, there's really no reason for me to get this way, but I have like the total like Sunday-itis. Like Sunday night is, I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to like be at home and just, so that sounds absolutely horrific to me, driving home 6 hours.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine with the drive. And realistically, like, even if it were like getting home at like 8 or 9 p.m., it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah. This is like 11 though.
But yeah, it'll be like 11, and I didn't take off work on Monday. So
it's probably, I mean, you got to like stop and eat too, right?
I think we'll eat like right after the game, we'll eat and probably just go.
Yeah. But it's still like a 6:30, 7 o'clock departure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a helicopter? No,
of course not. And can you fly a helicopter 6 hours? Like, I don't think
it's not a 6 hour trip in a helicopter.
Well, but can you make that trip?
Andy.
Can you make that trip in a helicopter? I thought they were made for more like, commuting around towns and cities and stuff like that. I don't think it's like a long distance thing.
Yeah. I don't know what the maximum distance is that you can fly a helicopter in. If anybody in chat can help us out here. I didn't think we would reach peak shenanigans 12 minutes into a podcast. I'm not.
And can link to like flight plans of like the longest helicopter trips that are not like military based.
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah.
It's like for traffic, guys. It's not for like commute.
Yeah, I disagree.
I mean, like,
I don't know. I really have, I've never been in a helicopter. Never once. And there's no way to. There's no like small airplanes that go, or does that just get too expensive? I don't know. You Midwesterners drive so much that like 6 hours. There are people in the Midwest who are like, "Oh, it's just an afternoon stroll."
Yeah, that's like a weekend trip.
Yeah,
6 hours.
Yeah,
like me to drive to Kansas City, and that's like typically like if the kids are playing in tournaments, it'll be like Memphis or Kansas City, or maybe even like Nashville, which those are all fun places to go.
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere in Iowa. It's not like between games or anything we'll be going to see sights.
Sure.
Unless they have like the biggest yarn ball in the world or something.
Right, something like that.
Because I'm dying to see that. But
the world's biggest cow sculpture.
Yeah, corn maze or something. That's what they'll have is corn mazes.
Yeah, so I that's a no. I think you
root against them in the semifinals.
Just in the semis. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
To guide us back on topic, are you doing any preparations for the World Cup?
No. Oh gosh.
Really?
Sorry.
I woke up this morning and I had an epiphany.
Ooh.
And I was like, I'm gonna participate in World Cup shenanigans, and I'm gonna find some value somewhere and make sure that I have teams, because if they do decide to like really go out and get licenses for a lot of the international teams, I could see the rewards being decent. And I don't think that they're going to treat the World Cup as just any other international break. I could be wrong, and I could totally basically like regret making some moves for the World Cup, but I think I would regret more if I didn't make moves to prepare and have some teams ready.
Okay, so somebody mentioned this. Percho mentioned this. Just get a La Liga 2 team for the World Cup. So I thought about that this morning because La Liga 2 plays during the World Cup, and
Sure.
so does Serie B. And the English Championship have a few games, and I'm fairly confident. Obviously, I don't know for sure, but I'm confident that those cards will not win you the same type of stuff that World Cup cards do. Like, I think they're going to have World Cup specific competitions.
I think so too.
Because I think you're right. The World Cup is different than everything else. And so they'll have stuff, they'll have Global All-Star, but then they'll have like World Cup special weeklies, like only, win Argentina cards. So I do think there is stuff like that. I struggle with the idea that they're going to have like a lot of non-card prizes. Like people have been talking about that, but like you can't win a World Cup ticket during the World Cup.
Right.
And winning, and it's not like they could be like, oh, we'll just give you tickets to the next World Cup because like
it's 4 years away.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Or even any sort of, like, oh, the next Euros. And it's like, that's still in 2 years. Like, so now we're back to like signed jerseys, and that's really all I've seen them offer other than tickets. But I do think they will blow it out. And I just really struggle doing anything for the World Cup. Like, I was thinking about this literally with the Van de Voort sale, because I was like, oh, if I want to keep playing U23, and somebody, I think it was Genesis, posted something today like, wow, there are a lot of like goalies who are aging out of U23. And I'm like, I don't even want to think about the World Cup. So I don't want to think about guys who are like aging out next July. But that just like solidified that like buying cards for the World Cup, I'm not doing it.
No.
But I think it's an incredible trading opportunity.
What if some of the players that you bought to prepare for the World Cup were also players that were useful to you for like your normal lineups?
Yeah, so I think that's reasonable. Like, I think if you're buying cards and they're like, oh, he's also playing in the World Cup, like, great. But if you're buying like a card and you're like, this guy's going to be at the World Cup and you will not use the card until the World Cup, I struggle with that.
One of the guys I looked at, actually, because goalkeepers are always like the biggest struggle.
Sure.
Jan Sommer. So reasonably,
right?
Yeah, and reasonably they could make it out of their group. Brazil and Serbia are the top 2 ranked teams in their group, and then they have Cameroon, which they're probably not favored to make it out of that group, but they probably could make it out of that group.
Right.
And one of the defenders that plays on Gladbach is also Swiss and plays for the national team, and like regularly plays for the national team. That's kind of a fun little correlation that you could bring between both worlds, right? I don't know. Like, that was the type of thing that I was thinking about. And I'm sure you could see that a lot in the Asian markets where like the goalkeeper and one of the defenders maybe play on the same team, and then you're like 2/5 of the way there to your team, and you can use it in the in the Asia divisions. Is that crazy? Or is that just too rare? That's not happening a lot.
I don't think it's crazy. I was trying to look up. So Switzerland, sorry for the American odds for those of you who don't use American odds. Switzerland's plus 100 to qualify from the group, and Serbia is plus 130.
Oh, okay.
Cameroon's plus 250. Brazil with the minus 1,000.
So Switzerland's favored a little bit better than Serbia, just a little bit.
Oh, is it Elvedi?
Yeah. He's like reasonably priced, and he plays.
Andy, I'm going to put it like this. I've heard significantly dumber suggestions.
Okay.
I don't think it applies to a lot of people. And yeah, Summer has been great. He's probably expensive because he's just been
He
crushed.
is. But I have like a Pau Lopez, and Pau Lopez is worth about the same as Jan Sommer. And
Get out.
yeah, they're about the same. And Pau is younger, but Jan's been better. So I don't know. And Pau's not playing on the national team, so maybe
No.
I make that move.
Andy, I think you're onto something at least.
Let's go. Let's go.
Like I said, I've heard dumber ideas.
Okay.
But so have you done enough research?
No.
Okay. So you don't know like how many people this applies. Although I think you're starting in the right spot.
Yeah.
Like you can always find outfield players who play in the World Cup.
Right. The goalkeeper is the biggest bottleneck possible.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's.
Percho said that Pau has midweek utility though, so I guess Jan does not have midweek utility. That sucks.
But he's got Nations League utility.
Yikes.
Does Pau actually play the midweeks this year?
Yeah.
There's no Steve Mandanda Jr. laying around.
Well, they got that Ruben Blanco guy, and he
Yeah.
started the first game of the season, or maybe the first two when Pau was hurt. But looks like it's Pau's job now.
Well, I sold him, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I appreciate you selling him. That was helpful to all of us Pau holders.
Honestly, I would also buy Vandervoort right now because he's going to be 5 ETH in about a week and a half.
Shit, you're right.
Just saying.
Got to do the anti Laird.
Yeah. So, who did he say it was? Elvetti. Got any super rares there?
Not for cheap. He's
1.4.
not amazing. He's not amazing, but I think that you could win with him when they get a clean sheet.
Right. That's kind of the funny thing is that you actually don't need Summer to get the clean sheet because he just like gets 1,000 saves a game.
Yeah.
Oh, they shut out Leipzig, huh?
I imagine you're probably buying Summer's top right now, though. Like he's never going to probably be more expensive than he is right now.
I know exactly when he'll be more expensive.
Oh, World Cup?
The day before the World Cup starts.
Yeah, that's fair.
Man, you know what's funny is that I have Jonas Hoffman too. Like I should just make a Gladbach stack. And Hoffman plays for Germany.
Yeah.
Not always, but sometimes.
And I would assume Germany's favored to make it out of their group. They got Japan and Costa Rica in there.
Let me see here. Germany. I mean, if Germany weren't favored to come out, then that would be like the biggest story.
Right.
Where do I have it? Germany are minus 650. Spain minus 750. They've got Japan and Costa Rica in that group. Doesn't seem like a tough one. Does anybody? Oh, man, these are conversations we shouldn't have in public.
Why? Because now you're going to do this.
Now we have to go do it. And
who? Yeah, I was going to say who plays forward at Gladbach and who plays forward on the Swiss team, like
Flier.
Or do you even want to go? Do you even want to go down that far down that?
You want to try to do a full Gladbach stack and a Switzerland stack?
I don't even mean that, but I just mean do you want to be tied to both of those teams, or do you just want to have like 2/5 of your lineup solved and then figure the rest out as you go?
Let's ask our guest who's about to come in. I told you before that I invited somebody else on and I didn't tell you who it was. So let's welcome to the stream our friend Quinny.
There he is.
Hey, probably wasn't much of a surprise.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he really had no idea.
Hey, real quick, I'm going to step away for a second since it's Quinny. I'll be right back.
Look at that. He was so offended that I brought you on that he's just like, forget it, I'm out of here.
What?
So, Quinny, we were just discussing World Cup and whether we're doing anything for the World Cup. meaning if we're buying players specifically for the World Cup. And Andy came up with this idea to try to get Jan Sommer and Nico Elvedi from Gladbach because they both play together domestically and for Switzerland. What do you think about that idea?
Yeah, it stands up. Way, I had a feeling. See, after I got off the shade that was thrown, I was like, oh, I know what it is. It came finally.
Yeah, it finally delivered. Quinny sent me this hat and a Celtic what was
program, we call it.
Yeah, program.
Love it.
What's funny is in Europe, you guys call these visors, not hats?
Nah, don't call it a visor.
Well, I mean, like it had a tag on it, and it was like something.
Maybe the Belgians do. I bought it from Bruges. It's a Bruges hat.
Okay.
So maybe the Belgians call it a visor, but not in the UK. No.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm wearing.
No problem. I kept forgetting about it. You know, I think I'd sent you a message about 3 months ago, going, "Oh, I found this. By the way, I forgot to send it." And then I came across it maybe about a week ago or something. I was like, "Oh, I can't send him another sorry message. I just fucking go to the post office." Just had to do it. So no, I'm glad it made it. That's good. But I think Sommer Elvedi, like it stacks up logically. You know, like Switzerland are a good, solid defensive team typically, as Gladbach are better this year than last year. But like, I wouldn't purposefully chase them down to get Gladbach and Switzerland exposure. But like, if you're getting one of them already, then maybe the other one makes sense.
Here I was like, yeah, I want Gladbach exposure, sure.
Why not? if you do, like I get it, man. No, and where was it? I was chatting. Oh yeah, it was when we were chatting under 23s, and like one thing that I think will be good to maximise on is like teams that don't play midweeks because they're just going to have much less rotation as the season kind of trunges on. Gladbach don't have Europe this year. You know, they were crap and should be better. So like, not a bad team like to chase down. I can dig it.
You know, I always had this obsession of getting guys and players and teams that have that midweek utility. Unless it's like Kimmich or something, like there's so much rotation, and sometimes I almost feel like I'd be better off with teams that didn't have that midweek utility because those midweek DMPs are constant, always dealing with them.
It's funny you say that. One of the reasons I sold Vandevort was because he doesn't have midweek utility. And the funny thing is that I talked to Sean, who has like a gank stack, and he's like, no, I love it because I know they're always going to play on the weekend. And I'm like, yeah, but I have these other midweek guys that are just like worthless because I don't have a goalie. I don't know.
I definitely on the same wavelength for Sean with some cards. Like goalkeepers, like if you, again, like same kind of stuff we spoke about before in terms of having them as a token that get by the door kind of idea. But like for midweeks, if you do need a keeper, if you've got the team, you know, if you reckon you've got 2 to 3 strong teams, not having at least 2 keepers is a bit, you know, it's not quite self-harm, you know, but you're letting yourself down a bit, I think, you know.
But there's nothing like going into the lineup builder and not being able to put a lineup in.
Yeah, well, that's it. But again, this is one of the things that when I was listening back to bits of our stream from yesterday, and I was like, I definitely want to come back to you at some point, is I think sometimes with these situations, particularly even what we're talking about now, midweek utility, I feel that the best thing I've done for myself sometimes is like paint myself into a corner where sometimes it's like, well, I've sold those guys. You know, it's kind of similar to what we're talking about with like the U23 region kind of idea. So like if you've got if you reckon, I could get 3 teams out every midweek, you should probably only have 2 goalkeepers, like just to make sure that you get 2 good teams rather than 3 bits of rubbish. And then it's like, I could have had 2. But equally, if you've only got 1 keeper, even that makes it down even more. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that. Sometimes you can have midweek utility for the sake of it, and it's not really worth having. But yeah, sometimes when you know the right thing, sometimes it's better maybe just to paint yourself into a corner so that it's like, I can't play midweeks now, just forget about it and write it off, or I can't play Champion America now because I sold the goalkeeper or whatever. I
had the thought recently to try to become a midweek specialist.
Yeah, I mean, people do it.
Only play midweeks, like for real.
Yeah.
And then, everyone always talks about how the rewards are worse. but
I think in the new year, that's a solid strategy, because see, in the new year, like with the condensed fixture calendar we're going to have, there will be some wacky, like, I don't know, right? But I'm just going to make this up. But like Denmark will have like 6 midweeks out of 8 or something for no real reason other than they've got to finish their games by like April or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you're wise to that stuff quick enough, then that's a great strategy, I think. Especially because all the region, all those specialists and underdogs, everything's open across all the scarcities, weekend and midweek. You know, so like if you had like a proper lasered in, you know, you could definitely rub your hands together, I think.
Mike Basson was saying in Black that they have Euro qualifiers starting in March. And Switzerland's always pretty good in qualifying.
Yeah, they are.
If you get through this international break without Summer and Elvedi, I'm going to be really disappointed.
All right, I'm going to do it. I'll do it tonight or today.
Chasing them down.
Yeah.
Very solid. The whole Switzerland defense, if you look at it, like if you wanted a doubler, like, you know, the whole defense is really good, you know, and we've actually, now that we're talking about this, I'll just check, right? But
let's go.
We had some new, what do you call it, Serie A teams on, and one of them was Torino. And one of the guys at Torino, some people might be familiar with, is Ricardo Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah.
He
was an old DraftKings star.
Used to be like Max Arnold tier, you know, used to be one of those guys that would just bang set pieces for, who was he at? Was it Bremen or Wolfsburg or something? And then he went to Milan.
Wasn't he at Milan for a little bit?
Yeah, he went to Milan. Like Milan signed him that same summer as Hakan Çalhanoğlu. And they paid, so they brought him in from Leverkusen, they brought Ricardo Rodriguez in from Wolfsburg or something. And between the two of them, I think they were like 80 million. And AC Milan fans were losing their mind. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But anyway, Ricardo Rodriguez now finds himself at Torino, and he has 1 rare and 13 limiteds available. And I don't know what his scores are, but yeah, he's got 100 in his last like 15 or something.
Just looking at his score chart, he looks like a fullback.
Yeah, he's a fullback. Yeah, he's a left back, but he's not quick. So he's not like he's not a mad athlete going up and down there, you know, so I don't think he should be that bad. I think it's more Torino maybe conceding goals, maybe let him down.
I also want to say, and it's not always, but I think he might take penalties for Switzerland when Shaqiri is not on the field.
He's that kind of guy. Yeah, he's like that kind of guy. He's a dead ball guy, you know.
I don't think I made that up, but maybe I did.
No, I'm pretty sure he takes penalties and stuff.
He certainly had a role on set pieces for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that? This must be Nations League, yeah.
Oh, can pick up a Shaqiri too.
Oh gosh, another Chicago player.
Just buy the Liverpool kit just to make you feel better.
Yeah.
Shaqiri's been okay, but yeah, I sometimes look at his scores and I think nobody really talks about him, but I think in America, for how bad Chicago have been, I don't think he's been terrible, has he?
Honestly, it would be fun to just have like a full Switzerland stack and then just be like all on board. Let's go.
Switzerland to the moon.
And maybe throw like a Kimmich in there too, just to
just throw the best player in the platform on there.
Just so I always have a captain, you know.
But that's what fantasy football's all about, isn't it? Is just throwing that wee guy in. Like I was making a few wee like short videos in that just before coming on because of that Liverpool announcement, and like see some of the example teams I put in that. It was like I was just trying to also put faces that people that click on a thing for 1 second will recognise. And it was like the teams I started putting up was like a full Celtic team, but I had like David Silva in it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like getting a full Switzerland and then getting a wee power card on top. It's a tough group, but with Switzerland, Serbia, Brazil, Cameroon. Don't know if I'd be backing them on that.
Yeah,
Serbia.
Before you hopped on, Andrew looked at the odds, and they are I guess they're the slight favorite to make it out of the group over Serbia. Just like tiny edge.
Fair enough. I can definitely get that. I was looking at the Japan squad this morning. They've got a tough group as well. The thing with the World Cup, and see, looking at it is like it dawns on you quite quickly how many matches are in the bloody tournament if you made it to the final. Like, and then who makes it to the final? It's such maybe a futile exercise. I think the group stage is worth being involved in because I think the group stage like underdogs, and I don't think they'll do ticket competitions or anything, but I'm sure they'll do some fun stuff. You know, like I think it's worthwhile having entries.
I think the struggle really is
look at that team. Oofed. That's nice.
The struggle really is predicting. That last guy plays for City, doesn't he?
He does now. Yeah.
Does he play?
He did play the last game.
Plays for Switzerland, isn't that enough?
I was going to say, you know what City are like for injuries and defence? I think he might be in the team now. But if I was you, man, I'd be back in America. You'll get out that group. No problem at all.
Who's our goalkeeper? What goalkeeper do I buy?
Sommer.
Oh, okay.
Play America.
I mean, so I think I already have the America pieces. Like I've got a McKinney. I've got a. I got
the Dutch keeper.
What's that?
If you get the Dutch keeper.
No, I'm talking about what keeper do I run with my America team?
I'm just thinking if you maybe had one of them already. Do you have anyone that's going to the World Cup already? No.
Probably, yeah.
I was going to say, if you've got the Dutch guy, he's got a great group. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Do we even know who's going to start for them?
Is it not Bijlo? Isn't it the Feyenoord guy?
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're right. He's been starting.
Or Denmark. Who's the Denmark keeper again? Or Kasper Schmeichel. I don't know if he'll get a card this year, will he?
Did they resign? Where did he go? Nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't have Nice, do we? Or we do have Nice? No, we don't.
No, I don't think so.
Was my mind? Oh, no, we don't have Nice. Oh, fudge. Who else
I think...
Keylor Navas, that's who you get.
Yeah. Who? I actually did look at him the other day, but he's still expensive.
Who?
Navas.
Oh.
Go
proper do a CONCACAF stack?
I think he was like, his rare was still like 0.6 or 0.7 or something.
And then you get Alphonso Davies, Navas, and then the America outfield, and you're cooking. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be getting America. I made a little World Cup squad on my page, on my club.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, do I have the footprint to mess about and, like I was saying, maybe get an underdog team out or some nonsense? And, like, my best hopes for the World Cup are Gio Reyna and Tyler Adams right now.
Are you going to get a Jesus Ferreira to go with them?
I've got a lot of Japanese cards also. So I just don't know who's going to play and whatever. So I've got, like, 5 Japanese forwards. You can probably guess what team they'll play for. I've got a few other bits and pieces lying around, but yeah, I'm not buzzing about it, to be honest with you. These are only rares and supers. I've not even looked at limiteds yet. But
Andy, do you have Matt Turner?
I did,
but not anymore.
I sold him right before he went to Arsenal.
Yeah,
I think if he was playing, I think if you take the whole Stefan plays for City thing out of the equation, I think Turner is the number one, like, out of the two of them. I think if you're going to pick a guy for the World Cup to make some saves and all the rest of it,
I think so too. I mean, Stefan plays for like Middlesbrough or something now.
He's been so in and out,
and he's hurt right now. Like, he's not playing.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure he's better than Turner either.
He might not be.
Yeah,
we've never seen him play.
That's a good point.
Everyone fancies him for kicking and stuff, you know. But again, like, if you look at, like, you know, you're probably not worried about America playing out from the back. In this group, you know, against England, Iran, and Wales, it is going to be just a case of get the result. And you want a guy that can make big shots. And I know he's at Arsenal, he's not playing every week now, but over the last 3 years, he's clearly played more football than Stefan. And then Horvath obviously is a joke. And maybe Sean John's got a shout, by the way.
He might. He's with them now.
Sean John could be a wild one. Campiones Cup champion, MLS Cup champion, you know. It's just raining medals for Sean John. Just needs a World Cup.
He didn't even play in that game. That was the best part.
Neither he did. Forgot about that. Baraza stealing the show.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing as well is I got my Baraza jersey mint card for all that's worth like a day before or the day after that Campiones Cup thing. And I think I get like 2 or 3 messages right after it. People are like, is Baraza in? Because I've got 3 of them already. So people just go to my account and see, he's got 3. What does he know?
Got one too, Quinny.
And I sold my Bayazit today, Laird. Sold my Bayazit.
It's so funny you say that because despite me wanting to get out of U23, I was like, if I stay in U23, maybe I'll buy a Bayazit.
Well, he's a great... So I don't know how long in the members team you hung about for, right? But the situation I'm in with Bayazit, right, is I did the old SorareAndrews handcuff maneuver, didn't I? I went and got myself a Silvio Lung Jr.
Oh, the Lungbuster.
The Lungbuster, yeah. And as we all know, long story short, Lungbuster was in and out of the team and now he's in Saudi Arabia. And then the handcuff was a boy, Bayazit. So combined, both of them cost me, and I paid Bayazit. I bought him as a starter, then he got dropped, and now he's back as a starter. So I paid like a lot of money for Bayazit and a lot of money for Lung. Now, finally, in Ethereum only, I'm able to escape this transaction up. So that's the only reason. I just kind of noticed that after talking to you. I was kind of looking at everything and I was like, well, for both of them, I paid 0.7. If I can sell Bayezid for over 0.9, then I'll just wash my face of this one and move on. And I've got my eyes on a replacement that now. He's got an auction coming up soon. So
now, Laird, would you rather have the card that the glove is showing?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
The new season one's nice, but he's got a nice little pose on the go, like he's kind of voguing.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even realize it until after my Van der Voort sale, but I took a massive fiat loss on the Van der Voort card.
Really?
Like massive.
Oh, because of the ETH swing over the last 3 days or something?
Yeah.
Oh, bugger.
I don't even know since I bought it, but like literally, let me see here. I bought the card for 1 ETH. I'm pretty sure it was 1 ETH. Yeah, 1 ETH, and I sold for 2.8. But it was $4,300. $4,800. That's actually, you know what? It was actually not as big of a loss as I thought. I thought it was over 1,000.
Nah,
and I couldn't have been happier.
It's a monkey. That's fine.
Someone the other day was like, "Hey, because I bought Messi rare like in the like
congratulations
when ETH was like at its highest."
Oh, sure.
And people were whoever it was like, "Hey, that Messi's doing quite good. It's up to like 8 ETH or something." Yeah, I've taken like a $5,000 fiat loss on that card.
You know which? Where did you get it? 5?
Like 3.5 or something. I don't. Somewhere in there. Yeah.
There's probably a much easier way to do this.
Probably.
There always is. It's one of my favorite bits of the show. Was going through graphs looking for black spies.
Here we go. 3.6. Oh, 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Almost your Messi-versary.
Should be right
in there-ish.
There it is.
There you go.
All right.
Ugh.
So this is what we're doing, World Cup prep, or what?
No, we have no idea. We just happened to go down that road.
Oh, no, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, World Cup prep. Yes.
So Van der Voort's gone, Laird. What's happening now?
He's going to prep for a World Cup team.
Oh, that's definitely the strategy that you were talking about forever. Yeah. The other day there.
I would have had the Cameroon underdog stack, and I'm just going to go for it.
No, you're going to sell Van der Voort. You're going to buy Jan Sommer and that defender that we looked at. I don't even remember his name. And you're going to make a Swiss stack.
As I said
Nico.
to you,
maybe for limited, that's a fun idea.
I've heard much worse ideas.
And I've had a lot of bad ideas. But
who's the top one? Who did we say was the top team in that group?
Brazil.
Brazil.
Oh. I was going to say, if it's like other low-scoring teams, then like the clean sheets could be that Brazil probably just blast them.
See, now that there's Allison's as well, by the way, like I was like really close to going mega on an Allison in January because I thought Brazil are the team to back for this World Cup. Like really, if you're going to back a big team, Brazil's the one to go for. And the price seems been crazy. But obviously now we've got new Allisons and we've got limited Allisons. So
yeah.
Kind of opens another big hitting team out because obviously Germany, France, Spain, all these teams are well complemented on the platform. So just going to be top up of that.
Who is your Brazil stack?
Mine? I don't have one.
I don't know, but like if you were going to build one.
If I was going to build, assuming Allison remains number one, I don't know if maybe Ederson's chapping on his door a wee bit. I think he's the man. In defence, I think you have to go with probably Militao. It's probably the safest bet. Marquinhos, probably. Quite obvious ones. Neymar is like Mr. Brazil. Yeah. In midfield, I'm going Bruno or Paqueta.
Yeah.
One of those two. Probably Paqueta if he keeps his play.
He's really good for them.
And then, I don't know. There's a few outsiders that could get a shot that maybe don't have cards and stuff, like Jesus or whatever. I'm still I'm holding on tight for Quinny to get into the squad. I don't think he'll be a starter at this rate. But the last one to fill it out, I don't know, you could probably have a good bit of fun with like Neres. There's a few guys like that kind of float about the squad that you don't expect to. Let me go and pull their team up. The last team they played.
So Andrew, you have Neymar and Messi. That could be a fun World Cup team for limited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine everyone who like wants those will have them at that point. Like I think people who don't play limiteds will be like, oh yeah, let me just go get limited Messi.
When did we become worried about what other people were doing?
Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, I just need, so maybe that's what it is. Summer, Elvedi, Kimmich, Messi, Neymar.
It's limited. That sounds great.
Damn it.
I thought we were talking about rares and real big cards, but if we're talking about limited,
I don't have those cards in rare.
Aye.
You probably don't even need Kimmich, right? There's probably other midfielder options that make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not spending whatever it takes to get Kimmich in.
He's over an ETH probably on limited.
He's almost 2.
2?
Oh, he came back down. Never mind. I thought he was still up here in this range.
I can't see if he's fit. I can't see Gio Reyna not like getting headlines in the group stage. Like, I'm really hoping that he stays fit. I
hope so.
Against Wales, Iran, and England, like they're great games for somebody like him. If you're thinking about maybe not a Kimmich, but another mid that could bang, you know.
So you know who I think is going to be the total sleeper of the tournament, and then we're going to realize it as soon as it happens?
Griezmann. Yeah, Griezmann's a great shout. He's Mr. Just like Neymar's Mr. Brazil, this guy's Mr. France.
Yeah, and he like is well rested because the guy doesn't play more than 30 minutes a game.
He's cheap as chips as well. 0.07 for unlimited.
Remember when his rares first dropped on the platform?
Oh, they were huge.
It was like 1.3 ETH, and this is when ETH was expensive.
Well, it was because everyone was like, "Oh, it's cool. He's an investor," and
yeah,
he was cool. He was maybe getting into the Barca team, but then he was like, "Oh no, he's way back to Atleti now," and we never got Barca cards.
Go back to all time.
Yeah,
hit all there, Andrew.
Woofed.
It's got to be the one. So let's see.
Oh, Sorare.
Even like the 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, look at those. That like
just falling like a knife, eh? He's a quality player. Great for France as well.
I mean, he's better for France than he is for Madrid.
Certainly. I think that'll change. But
point out Vinicius. That's who we need from the Brazil stack, of course.
He seems like the type of guy that would come to America, right?
Griezmann?
Yeah.
He's definitely
yeah.
You know what he's going to do, by the way?
What's that?
I think he's going to be in huge
NBA player.
NBA uniques.
Yeah.
He'll be all over that. He's always at the basketball when he's got a few days off.
I've gotten like more and more bullish on Sorare NBA over the last few days, and it's like guys like Griezmann that are the reason. Like I think there's a legitimate chance that I think there's a more reasonable path that Sorare goes mainstream because of NBA than football.
Yeah. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. I've actually got
for you and your brother to start doing some content, Quinny.
Well, that's it. I'm halfway through an edit for the World Community League. We got together and done a video yesterday, and I was saying that to Trip and Bees. Like, I'm really happy to. I'm looking forward to it because I'll be in all the videos as like the dummy that doesn't know anything about basketball or whatever, and I'll get him to just kind of guide me through it. But also, I know all the Sorare stuff, so it should be good crack, man. I'm looking forward to it. Not a big basketball guy, but I say I don't mind messing about with a few cards and having a laugh with my brother. And hopefully, again, he can maybe teach us some stuff about, well, not you two, but us, everyone else, like about some details of basketball or whatever. Because he's a good player. Like my brother, he knows people who went and played NBA and stuff like that. And he's like a qualified ref, and he does he's a big basketball guy. Like he does that stuff in his spare time or whatever. It's like local. Awesome. Yeah, so he's a big, like I said in that tweet I put out, like he's the same way I am about football. He's the exact same, but with basketball, he's just mental for it, so it should be good.
Does Celtic have like a basketball club or
Boston Celtics is maybe a closest thing.
No, I mean like in your community are there like basketball clubs and
yeah, there's a team called the Glasgow Rocks, and I think they play in a UK league, but I don't. And there's a hockey team here as well, like ice hockey, that play in the UK league. And I think as far as like non-football sports go, they're kind of doing pretty well up here now, but it's like very small. Like, yeah, it's not anything to write home about. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think we're going to see him go nuts.
Griezmann will be doing the auction unique live streams with us. Griezmann will be coming on them, and. But all right, Antoine, how's it going? How's it going, big man?
We haven't had one like a player get involved in the big like football auctions yet.
Yeah. You know, you ought to do one for the not the Trout, the Aaron Judge one whenever they sell that.
The Judge Unique.
Yeah, because they're gonna sell it. I would assume right after he hits 61 or 62.
They're gonna sell it on Saturday. That's what they should do.
The big score in baseball is like 60.
60 home runs is a big number. Yeah.
So what is it? Roger Maris hit 61 in like 100 years ago or something, like the 40s.
It was 1961. 61 and 61.
I thought you meant the score was once the guy hits a few 60s. That's what I was saying. Is that a big score on basketball, on baseball?
No.
I'm lost.
This is just it'll be a record-breaking.
Got you. Never mind. Ignore me.
like a monumental thing. In fact, I mean, like, you know, he's actually not breaking any record except for the AL record.
Right.
You know, Big Mark McGuire's got the. Well, I guess Barry Bonds has the.
Yeah,
the
Bonds' record is as legitimate as McGuire's. So this is the real record. This is the steroid-free record.
Oh, get out of here! Get out of here!
I'm actually going to the game on tomorrow, Friday, thanks to Sorare.
Nice.
And I'm bringing the brains of the operation, my 11-year-old son, and it's going to be his first Yankee game.
Do you know how much tickets are going for some of these games? I saw in the left field bleachers, tickets were like $2,000.
I mean, that's just maybe I can. There's upside to the cost of that. Like you could.
Right.
I saw an estimate earlier that his next home run could sell for 500,000, and then the 62nd could sell for $2 million. So
if you catch the ball.
If you catch the ball, yeah.
Wow, that's a dream, eh?
Yeah.
People must fight over all that stuff.
But yeah, we're. Someone in chat just said, "Do you have any idea what we're talking about, Quinny?"
Not particularly, but like I understand rounders. So anyone in the UK will know what rounders is. Probably it's like very like basic baseball. So I can get some points, but I don't have a great understanding.
What is this, rounders? What?
Rounders. Do you not know rounders? It's basically the same as baseball, but there's no complicated rules. It's just hit the ball and run around the bases. It's called rounders. Like there's no. It's just baseball.
Just hit the ball and run.
Just hit it and run.
What do you mean no complicated rules? Like
it would be like you'd be on the park and maybe like if you're playing rounders, you've maybe got a really good stick off of a tree somewhere, and somebody has a tennis ball or like a really small crappy football or something. Yeah. And then like somebody will pitch it like a baseball, and you'll hit it with your stick, and then like there'll be bases, probably jumpers, and then you just be like basic no rules baseball, but we call it rounders.
I'm gonna watch a YouTube stream of this.
Maybe somebody would have a baseball bat. There's a good Kevin Bridges joke. I don't know if you know Kevin Bridges. He's a Scottish comedian, but he's got a good joke. It's like something to the tune of like Sports Direct, like the sports shops, around about here, Mike Ashley and all that. In Glasgow, they sell like records amounts of baseball bats, but they've never sold a baseball. So there might be, you maybe get somebody that has a baseball bat, but normally that's and maybe you're not playing games with those people.
More of a security system.
Yeah.
It looks like the bat they're using is a real short one-handed bat.
There'll be people that have like I'm talking about me growing up and like, we'll play a game of rounders, but like, there'll be people that, you'd play in PE and you'd get like a styrofoam little tiny one. Yeah. You'd do that sort of thing. But it's basically a baseball for kids, like basic. Sorare Rounders will come before the Premier League gets added, says John Andrews. What do you think about Liverpool? I was all in on it's everything or nothing, and Laird, you thought I was crazy for that. I think. I
did.
Do you think this is it then? Because they've not said anything. Do you think this is it?
Nicholas's tweet makes it seem like there's more.
Oh, I might not have seen that.
What is it? We're just starting. Is that what?
Yeah. This is the beginning or something like that.
Yeah.
Us.
Rounders bad. There we go.
Yeah, there it is. What did he say?
Let's get started. Yeah, love it, Nick.
Yeah, get started, something like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but no, I don't think it's everything. And I think Let's Get Started is just like, oh yeah, we're gonna have more clubs because there are always more clubs you can add. They just don't play in England.
Yeah.
Now, what do I think versus what do I hope? I think that's probably it. I kind of agree with Quinny, I guess, on that, but I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. I think like maybe I didn't see that Nicholas tweet until like right now, but I think seeing that maybe we get like 3 or 4 Premier League teams, maybe the whole league or some nonsense, maybe it got a bit, I don't know, complicated or murky, and the league have just said, nah, if you want to do it individual, see you later. And I don't know, maybe who knows?
I think that's fine. Like I don't think.
But imagine we got City on. Like, imagine they said next week Man City, next week after that Man United. You probably would forget the rest of the league at that point anyway. You know?
Yeah, like, are we really dying to have Wolves? I mean,
that's what I was going to say.
I don't know why I'm picking up
Wolves.
Happen. But, yeah,
they're like, we don't have the entire Premier League, but this week we've got Bournemouth and Brighton, and everyone's like, okay, great.
Then they'll get relegated, or maybe not Brighton, but Championship. Hey.
Do you think it would be a bigger deal, like, because everybody gets really fired up during international breaks and the drama like hits peak, although we haven't really had it this week, but do you think people would rather have no more Premier League teams or like 3 that were Wolves, Forest, and Crystal Palace?
Yeah, I think people take Wolves, Forest, and Palace over nothing.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Because, like, if they get relegated, they're still kind of useful, you know. And yeah, it's like, it's just a bigger footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger footprint's better than a smaller one. I think everyone would be. But again, like, no one's going to rush out. Like, if we got Crystal Palace, I would go buy an Edward quite quickly. But I don't think anyone else would be that buzzing about Palace. What was the other teams again? So again, like the point of that is, like, even though they're crap teams, there's probably somebody in each of those teams that maybe somebody would be like, oh, finally, like, that guy's on the platform, that goalkeeper, or there's another guy on the bench that I know, he's not going to make it at, you know, Nottingham, you know, and they'll sell him next year and he's actually really good. I can buy him for cheap now, and, you know, so I think, yeah, people would be happy enough with it. There's another card to go get or something, you know.
What if it was the choice between 3 of the bottom table clubs versus Chelsea?
Chelsea.
I think you always want the, you know, if you can get a top 6 team, you're always going to want the top 6 team over.
Yeah.
Over quantity,
over
I guess. Yeah.
Because you want the ability to win the best people, and the best people play, and you know, if you're not going to buy Chelsea, you want to win, you know, Pulisic or, you know, whoever, you know, kind of thing. So you want that in the prize pool. With
I can't imagine that card coming out on the platform because it's basically useless, but people are paying over an ETH easy for that card.
Aye, no problem at all. If you look at the price of like Gio Reyna's when he first came out, and he was like broken, people were still paying mad money for him when he first came out. So I don't think Pulisic will be any different. There's somebody else as well. There's another America card that went, Yunus Musa. Remember when his 1 of 100 came out? It went mental. Like,
don't even tell me about that, Quinny.
Did you buy it? No, was it not Sorare or something?
No, I have like the 6th mint, but I paid like 0.7 ETH for it or something.
Nah, something mental high.
Yeah.
He's coming good now, sort of.
I mean, I guess he's had 2 or 3 decent games. We'll see if that continues.
But yeah, his number 1 went for mental. Look at that. 3 ETH it was. Hit dollars on that, Laird. So yeah, Pulisic, no bother.
It seems. Oh, there you are, Andy. You got the number 9. Like Pulisic should come out right after the NBA launches because a bunch of people are like, "Oh, let me get that American guy."
Yeah.
Oh, the American. What was it? The LeBron James of soccer.
Right.
Who was it that said that? It was a newscaster or something, wasn't it?
I think no, it was Pawn Stars. The guy was trying to sell like a jersey with like a signature or something, and it was somebody that clearly knew nothing about, you know, football, soccer.
If the LeBron of soccer means the best American in the sport, then I suppose he is the LeBron of soccer, technically, to somebody.
Is he?
I don't know. Is LeBron the best American in basketball? I don't know.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So LeBron's bound to be cheap then.
He's just getting old.
Yeah,
I think he's older than me.
fair enough. Aye.
So somebody's saying, I think people outside of Europe maybe don't understand just how big the Premier League is. If Sorare were to get the license of all the Premier League clubs, the platform would skyrocket. We're not doubting that at all.
Yeah.
The Premier League is actually like the most popular league in the US.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be Liga MX. Certainly not Major League.
Really?
Soccer. Like we get it.
There's a lot of Mexican natives, I suppose.
It's Liga MX is definitely more watched than Major League Soccer. Like it's not even close. No, we get it. Don't worry. We get it. Are you ready for all your card prices? If all your card prices values double because of the Premier League, do you just sell out?
I don't know. Like again, like I get those kind of questions quite a lot, or not quite a lot, but I get them often enough from people. Like, oh, you know, how would you sell? Or if your gallery did this, would you sell it, and all that kind of stuff. But if the Premier League came on and my gallery doubled, like I probably wouldn't even notice. Like for the most part, you know, unless it was someday that became wildly like expensive for no reason. I was like, okay, well, I'll sell him. You know, like
I think all three of us have been here for at least like 2 or 3 booms.
Yeah.
And if that was like if our gallery doubling in value was our trigger for selling, we would have already found a point to sell, and you know, during one of those times. Might take profits or something, but I don't know.
I will say
I'm here.
Yeah, I think one of the points that somebody made recently, and I forget where I heard this, Reddit, wherever it was, is that a lot of Premier League fans are just Premier League fans.
yeah.
So like,
Oh, that's
obviously
interesting.
all of our cards are not Premier League cards right now, except for the scattered West Ham and Liverpool ones. So like, I don't think Van de Voort's going to 5 ETH because a bunch of Southampton fans are now on the platform.
Nah, not at all. Maybe.
But when Van de Voort goes to Southampton,
yeah, there you go. So you'll get some diehard Southampton fan that wants like you know the first one or whatever, or maybe they want the Southampton first one, you know. But it's just I think the thing about the Premier League, for better or for worse, is that kind of aspect of like Premier League fans, but on the whole, on the main, are Premier League and Champions League viewers,
right? Primarily,
you know, like that's all they kind of watch. And you know, like I've been making content, you guys have been making content. We've all been talking about this game for ages. It's not really. I still think Sorare is kind of unknown, like to the general man. Like I don't think it's a recognized name, or even oh yeah, what's that thing again? Like I don't think it's even there yet, you know. And you know, like if you're a football fan, which you know, if you are a football fan and you're hopping about social media, there's been plenty of stuff of like, you know, American, you know, MLS football and Bundesliga football and Serie A football, like from all of our channels in lots of different ways, and even just general content that doesn't get engaged with to the same extent, but something that's like Premier League related, like just is it because the potential in terms of like content, videos or whatever, just to go nuclear, just because the Premier League just has everything around it. And you know, if you make a video, basically what I'm kind of saying is if I make a video talking about like a Valencia player or something, you know, it's not going to do anywhere near the same as if I was going to go and talk about even a Crystal Palace player would probably do. I did a video in March talking about Paqueta going to AC Milan or something like that. And I did a video about somebody going to Newcastle. Maybe Paqueta going to Newcastle, or I think it was that. It was. And he went to West Ham in the end, didn't he? Yeah, it was Paqueta to Newcastle. And I still have Newcastle fans probably, like that video did like mental good for my channel on views. And it wasn't even that good a video, but it was just because it was Paqueta, Newcastle United, you know, like.
Those 2 keywords.
And it just popped, you know. So like, yeah, I don't think in any, and again, like I make these Celtic videos on that other channel, Celtsar here. That's like a really big Celtic, you know, website media kind of outfit that's been running for years. And the guy that runs that was saying to me, after we'd done a few videos and whatever together, he's like, oh, I'm starting to see this Sorare stuff pop up, you know? And that's obviously because, like, like all of us with Celtic cards and SPFL kind of tie in and whatever, it comes onto their radar a bit sneakily now. It's at the back, it's on games at the side of on the boards at the side of games and whatever. But the Premier League, unless you're tuning in and watching La Liga, or you're tuning in and watching Bundesliga, you're not getting any of that kind of subtle marketing kind of name recognition stuff that they're doing now. And maybe Liverpool is the gateway to that. That's one Premier League stadium where you're advertising now.
That'll be cool.
Got a match of the day. That'll be fun, eh?
Yeah, I guess they're global partners is the term that I keep seeing them toss around, and I don't know if that does that entail something different than them just licensing a club?
Maybe Ultimate Champions are not Arsenal's global partner.
Wait, say that again.
Maybe, I don't know. Like if that, like, because you brought that up, if that definition means something, then like I'm just kind of throwing it back to you. Like maybe other licenses exist that aren't global exclusive. You know, it's just like, I don't know, some other nonsense legal.
Does that even mean that it's exclusive?
I don't know.
Gotcha.
You know, just a thought. Because yeah, they are bamming that on. Like they signed Serie A, then they signed the clubs individually, and it's like exclusive deal with Napoli and exclusive deal with this. Oh, we've signed Serie A, but these other ones are kind of bolted on top. So there's obviously like behind the scenes, you know, between some of these companies that are all going for this stuff, there must be like proper like legal battles over this stuff, you know, in terms of constructing bids and winning stuff. And I've got the right to that. No, we won the rights to Liverpool 2 years ago, and blah, blah, you know, there must be all sorts of crazy stuff going on in the background because that is a bit of a land grab. These licenses, you know, I think it's been kind of spoke about primarily on John's, but I think across all kind of content. Yeah. And yeah, that kind of global thing. Yeah, I think you're right, Andy, or Black. Sorry, I know it was both Andy. I think that's quite deliberate and recurring language that we're getting from them. That they kind of want everyone to know, but that's saying like global partner. You know, it's partner. You know, it's always the word as well. I get as an affiliate. That's even the emails I get. Is hey partner. You know, like it's like cool. Hey partner.
Sorry, I'm trying to sell more cards.
But yeah, I was hoping to grab you again, Laird, after the stream we did the other day, because like I say, I was listening back to it, and there was a few bits and pieces that I thought, yeah, that I think, because see, when we were doing that, I didn't know what we were going to be talking about necessarily. I didn't really know what was going to be happening, so I was thinking on my feet and thinking, right, what am I saying here? What did he just say? What is like logical here? And am I talking shite, or make sure I'm staying on point? That's kind of all the internal commentary that's going on in my head. But when I was listening back to it, I was like, oh yeah, so the Van der Vaart sold. And the first thing is like, I couldn't believe the price you got for it. Like genuinely, like, I think that's a great point to be because I've listed my Van der Vaart for free ETH. I think that's a great price to be selling him at, even with ETH being down and whatever.
We'll talk later about that, Quinny.
Oh really?
Black wants one.
Oh really? Okay.
Black wants that one.
I'll sell it to you for the same price Laird sold his for, as worst case, if you want. Or whatever, I don't know.
I'll keep you posted.
You can talk to me if you want.
I'll have work to do if I want to make that happen. But I also have Jan.
You got to buy Jan
and this other guy to take care of Nico. So
fair play. But and then as we come back on, like today, like I was maybe going to try and catch up with you. I don't really remember all the bits where I was like, I better come back to Laird and say, remember this bit, and I was thinking about all the stuff we were going through. But the Van der Vaart sale, like, was really one of the parts, because when you were looking at that team and you kind of spitballed to me, oh yeah, I reckon about 4 ETH or something is what you would get for the whole squad, and then you've basically got 3/4 of that out of the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
like it really does swing the door open to how you can really attack this and really like upgrade in a big way. Like going getting a big power super rare is like very much on the cards for you, which is fun. You know?
That's the idea. I tried to get one that I'm not going to say on stream because I'm still trying to get it. But I was saying to Black before you came on that the seller of that card seems to disagree with the valuation that I have put on the card. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
With super rares, that's so tricky, man. Is there a few sellers or just one?
Just one.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
But I think it just expired. Actually, I have to check on that.
It's a nightmare. I've kind of got that situation with Talis Magno, so I'm trying to get his jersey number because of obvious reasons. And he's obviously quite cheap now because he's in crap form. MLS is about to go out of season, whatever. The guy that has his jersey number bought him like for market rate on auction, and I fell asleep because his number fucking 43.
Yeah, it's a weird number.
I missed it. I was waiting for it, and I missed it. It did auction. It wasn't a reward. And he paid like market rate for it, 0.6-ish, just under 0.7. And he's got it listed constantly for an ETH. And the market still is just under 0.7. And I'm like, mate, I don't mind giving you something because you got the jersey number. Fair play to you. I'm happy to give you something over for that because you know why I want the card. But the offers he's knocking back, I'm like, I'm mental for even making this offer. You're even crazier for rejecting it, like because.
But maybe he's the same as you, and he's like, I love this card, but I'm not letting go of it for less than an ETH.
Perhaps. I don't think there was something that made me think that he obviously knows it is a jersey number, but it is just a trade opportunity for him. It's not sentimental in any way. Let me see. Where was he? Is he even still listed?
I
Yeah,
had somebody ask me for my Tony Watt limited jersey mint today.
Oh, nice. Was it Tony?
It was not.
Just in case. Tony's back on the prowl again, trading cards.
Oh, there we go.
I looked at his gallery the other day. He's just like loaded up with super rares now.
It's so hard to keep up. He's got a really fun strategy. I won't ruin it in case. I don't think he's on the. We're recording tomorrow. I can't remember if he's confirmed or not, but I'll let him tell it.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who changes strategies more than Tony Watt.
It's so hard to keep up, honestly. Like, but he does have. But see the thing, Tony has so much fun because he's always engaged in like trading, and I think that's the bit he enjoys the most is turning around. And as much as I struggle to keep up sometimes with who he's got for how much, and then how much he's moved them on for, and whatever. Like, he is always like by and large saying, "I got this for that. Now I've traded it out and done this." So, as much as he's got like really high turnover, I think he does. Well, everyone loses trades, but I think in the mean, he's kind of moving upwards in terms of the kind of aggregate of his trades, you know. I say it's all about having fun, you know. He submits teams because you can. I think he just loves getting stuck into the market more than anything and trying to find guys underpriced and take a turn on them.
Yeah. Well, why not? It's a fun game.
Isn't it, for sure. I'm going to buy these as well, right? You know how Fabrizio Romano does all these like "Here We Scout" tweets?
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing one like it's a parody, but doing like bad players that made bad transfers, and then like getting the cat like protect like see the way he's got his, and it's like in a wee phone. He's also got in a wee holster somewhere or something. Hey guys, blah blah blah, you know, and give it all that.
Now are you gonna shill these players as like guys to buy, or are you?
No,
like,
I was
how
thinking
are you
more.
gonna
Because I'm thinking of doing it as a parody. I'd be thinking more of doing it as like, oh, you bought this guy, think he's gonna have a good season? Well, he's just transferred to PSG, you know, and or you know that kind of vibe, you know.
That's fun.
As a laugh, I don't know. Do you think that'd be funny? Yeah, if I did it well enough.
I would like that content.
Yeah, cool. I'll try and do that. I just seen that they done a tweet from him. It's so rare saying something about Fabrom, and I thought, oh well, that light bulbs went off. I'll ask somebody their opinion. You know, it's like sometimes you come up with ideas for stuff, and you're like, nah, that'll be rubbish.
Now you need a fun name that like plays off of that. Here we scout, you know, in that vein, and see if you can get him to retweet it.
Here we drop. That's a good one. We need to come up with something for that.
I like that one anyway.
That could be good.
Quinny hasn't been here the whole time, but we went a little long, and so I'm cutting us off. But Quinny, thank you for hopping on. It's always great to have you here, especially when we don't have a topic. It's 2 days in a row that we've talked, that I told you, let's talk, and I didn't tell you what we were talking about. Part of that is because Andy and I didn't know what we were talking about today. That's why we were just bringing up shenanigans. So thank you to everybody who has joined us in the chat. If you guys could please hit the like button on the video, that's always very appreciated, and rate and review if you are listening to the audio version. I'll be back at the beginning of next week with the SorareData strategy show with Sean, and then Andy and I will be back at the end of next week for another SorareAndrews. Gentlemen, thank you and good luck.